All right, this is just going to be a little quick video about transport proteins and what transport proteins are, and I'm going to be lazy, and I'm just going to draw my cell membrane as a double line. Okay, so that's my cell membrane. Transport proteins are simply proteins in the cell membrane. They're going to have to be integral or transmembrane that transports things across, like glucose or water or I'm trying to think of other large sodium, potassium ions. So things like that that can't get across just through simple diffusion or osmosis. So the importance of them is that they are the only way to get large or polar molecules into or out of the cell. So in order to get the cell what it needs, or for the cell to lose the waste products that it needs to get rid of, they are one of the few ways. You could also do endo and exocytosis. We'll talk about those later in another video. But this is one of the main ways that we get things into and out of the cell. So super duper important to the cell. The other thing is I can tell which processes involve the use of transport proteins. There are two. There's one passive and one active. So facilitated diffusion. If you know, I don't know about Latin or Greek, I'm sure it came from one of those languages, but Spanish, fácil means easy. And so facilitate means to make easy. That's the meaning of that word. And so facilitated diffusion is diffusion made easy because we use a protein. And so we go from high concentration to low concentration. This could be during your action potential when your sodium channels open, not your sodium potassium pump. That's a whole different animal. But when your sodium channels open, the sodium will rush into your cell and create a higher concentration inside. So it's going from a high concentration to a low. The other process that uses transport proteins is pumps. So facilitated diffusion is passive, pumps are active. And pumps are going to they're actually going to reset this, what we talked about in another video. They're going to reset this by pumping those sodiums back out. So there's still a high concentration out here. It doesn't really want any more sodiums, but the pumps say, I don't really care what you want. We need them out here so that we can do this process again later. So active transport is always about pumping to a higher concentration to set things up for later. And so facilitated diffusion is passive. It uses transport proteins to move molecules from a high concentration to a low. So this would be during the action potential as an example. And then the pumps are going to be doing the opposite. They're going to be pumping from low to high. And so that would be resetting the neuron after the action potential. Getting those sodiums back outside so that it can fire again later. And there's a bunch of other places. There's tons of other pumps. There's tons of other proteins used in facilitated diffusion, but those are just some examples. So I hope that helps. I hope transport proteins make a little more sense to you now. And if not, let me know.